Hello, and welcome to the definitive Starship review series. Without access to a proper table. I'm not gonna slam the table for reasons I'm gonna get into. Yes, today we're going to celebrate the release of Prodigy this week by reviewing the XL USS Voyager and the little baby Voyagers. Actually, kind of Equinox size, thinking about it. Now, there's a certain class of model and its own when I do these. I go to do the size comparison. I kind of, carry the model around my room to get a good size comparison. And I end up having to go to the big boys, I call them. The XL Voyager is one of those models. In fact, I do not have a mainline XL as big as Voyager. I tried to get in along the normal XLs and specials, and I couldn't do it. If Voyager, I don't know if it's the biggest XL Eaglemoss has ever done, but it is definitely up there. It's bigger than all the other ones I have. But before we get into our normal size comparison, I am part of the Eaglemoss affiliate program, which means that there is a link in the description if you choose to purchase this model because of this video. That is an affiliate link, meaning I will get a 7% commission on the sale if you choose to do that. So there's monetary incentive for me to give good reviews, yada yada yada. So, yes, XL Voyager. A funny story about this one, I actually bought it with a few. I think it was the Dideridax, the XL Dideridax. Something else, I don't quite remember what it was. And then the ISS Defiant. When the package got to my door, I got my Dideridax, I got my something else. I didn't get my ISS Defiant. I got this XL Voyager, so at a massive discount, and it ended up being my favorite model of the whole thing. But you could just see, we'll go in detail more, but looking around, there's so much detail, so much wonderful stuff. I will start it out with a negative, just to prove that I'm not sold out, and that this stand is one of the worst stands Eaglemoss has ever done. The reason I didn't hit the table like I usually do is exactly that. It's so hard to get this stand. Once you get it, it's passively stable, but there you go. Like, any slight disturbance will get it to go. In this model's defense, I'll try and take a picture if I remember. This model, I have it perched on a shelf, high enough to probably do some damage if it fell, where it's pushed back, but close enough to the edge where if it did that, it would fall off its shelf. And I haven't had any problems with it, so I'm confident enough to keep it, not like on the edge of its shelf, but like if this was the edge of the shelf, back there. But you just really have to be careful putting it in its stand. Contrary to the tiny Voyager, where if they did this, I'm pretty sure the nacelles would break off on the big version. But yeah, they can't get a Voyager stand right, and it's a hard one to do, but bear that in mind, that you don't want to display this model on the edge of the Grand Canyon if you were planning on doing so. But just how big is it? Going over, we've got, as I said, the class of models all on their own. In other words, the ones I'm not going to be able to fit on camera. Voyager is about the same size as the Enterprise C. There we go, that's good. Of course, nowhere near as tall as the Enterprise C, but its length is about the same, really close. Another good ruler is just about any XL Enterprise. The Enterprise, the TOS one, sorry. The Enterprise is a bit bigger. This is the Disco Prize, of course named after the type of parties they have, that I happened to grab. Honestly, because I thought it was an exact match until I got here, but they're all about the same size, the original, the motion picture, and this one. Over to the quote-unquote Discovery Collection. The best I could do was the XL Shinzo, which is bigger. It's a bit bigger than the Voyager, basically because of its deflector dish. And finally, over on the quote-unquote Universe Collection, it is, well, the XL Lost Arena is the closest. The Zheng-He is noticeably shorter. Of course, this is noticeably longer, but it is the closest I could do, because this model is on the big boy class of starships. But yes, Voyager itself, it's an incredibly detailed ship, probably the most greebly heavy ship, maybe even by modern standards. You can see the tiny one It captures a lot of the detail pretty well. I mean, it's a nice model. They were never going to get everything. You can see, like, the warp core is not too detailed. I mean, just look at the underside. And you can see this isn't painted, this is painted. Just over here, there's a lot more detail on the bigger one. So they did a commendable job. They even got transparent nacelles for the small Voyager. But the big Voyager is just probably one of the best done XLs. It does have the common problem for some of these. You can see these back windows are horribly misaligned. The front saucer ones, they aren't perfect. I mean, if you looked, you could tell they're a bit off, but a lot of them look like they did hit their mark, though, which is good. It's not a huge deal. I mean, especially since I tend to have it displayed like this, so this isn't the focus. But do be aware that, yeah, it is noticeably off. But everything else about this model is just beautiful, other than the fact that it needs a good dusting. You can see seams right here. This entire top section, even going down to the back, is all metal, whereas this bottom section, the engineering hull, secondary hull, the nacelles, this little flat landing pad, I guess you'd call it, and the struts are plastic. But still, this gives it a very good weight. It's I'd actually probably hazard a guess to say it's majority metal, just looking around at this model. And that's also why it so easily falls off the stand. It's like balanced right at the center of mass, so it's real precarious. You've got the same transparent nacelles. You kind of got these holes, which isn't great, but I mean, your eye doesn't get drawn to them, really. Like, if you stare dead on, yeah, but honestly, I didn't even know they were there until I looked at it right now, and I've had this model for, it was one of the first I got. I've had it for quite a bit. But let's take a look now, a much closer look at all these detailing. You don't have a blue deflector dish, actually, I've just seen. All these shuttle bays, you can see, are actually bumped up. They're textured. You've got the textured windows for, I honestly can't remember what those are. You've got the mess hall? Captain's quarters? Man, it's been a while since I've seen Voyager. But yeah, all this is textured. You've got these lines that are textured. No Aztecing. I'm not sure if Voyager actually has Aztecing. I'll put a picture up right now. Bottom, you've got these huge little chunks taken out. The Aero Shuttle, you can very perfectly see here, or rather, apparently the cap for the Aero Shuttle, or Janeway lost the keys, I guess. I don't know. The Aero Shuttle, a great mystery. Your phaser strips are detailed. They're actually embossed. They're lifted up over the ship, so you can definitely feel them. All the phaser strips are like that, of course. You've got a very well-detailed bridge section, ready room, and I honestly don't know. I think it's the conference room on the side. I can't remember. But then this bit. You've got the bit where Alex Kurtzman would put the window. In this whole bit, there's so many, look, just tiny details there. All along this spine, you've got the tiny details. You've got, I presume, RCS thrusters. Maybe impulse. No, RCS, I think. That even just stick up. Actually, those might be torpedo bays. Wow, I really should have read the magazine for this one. It's just really well done. The shuttle bay's got all its landing. It's got the registry on there. The doors, the shuttle bay doors, are even grilled. You can see there, like textured and everything. It's just so beautifully done. The seams, the rivets, these don't articulate. It'd be nice if they did, but they don't. Weirdly enough, I don't think Eaglemoss has actually sold a version of Voyager with the nacelles up. Which is kind of weird, but yeah, they're just flat. This whole bit, again, these lines are actually, grooved. They're cut into the model. You've got all the red pinstripe warning lights, your little phaser arrays, just the little details down here, textured. The warp core, it doesn't eject. It's not like the Cerritos model. This bit, actually, I think this might be the warp core right here, is even bumped up and textured and painted. This one is as well on the small model. Not enough to see it, but I think really, look at that. The bottom, you can just see what the extra size gets you so much better. Just so much detail, love, and attention was put into this model. I mean, it was put into the design of Voyager itself. was designed before the interiors, so we really get a nice matchup to how all the sets line up. Better than most ships, better than basically almost any ship, I think. We've got these. These are even textured. You got the Enterprise C. Whoops. The Enterprise C over here, they just painted yellow on. But this has got actual textured and painted. You've got the square that's indented in, and then you've got the circle further indented in. And I'm pretty sure each one of those black dots, looking at it, is slightly offset from the little square indent there. Just so much detail, loving care basically went into this model. I mean, if you haven't left to buy this model, obviously from the affiliate link in the description, then I don't really know what you're waiting for me to say. But yeah, I think this is one of the best XLs Eaglemoss has ever done. It is most certainly the most detailed and textured of any of the XL models, and it is well worth a purchase. The small one's fine. It's along the same line as any of the other small hero ships. Like, yeah, you can add a lot of more detailing, and it's on here. I mean, even that top bit, just look at how much more these pop with just the little windows. Oh my god, hang on. I'm sorry, I've just called them windows. I've just realized every single escape pod has a number on it. They're not all unique. You've got 1226 and 1226, the same there. 705, 705. But every single window, so every single escape pod has a number engraved on it. On the bottom too, everyone. I've just quickly run around the room and looking at the models. This seems to be the only model that actually has numbered escape pods. That's blown me away a bit. On the top as well, wow. I didn't even know that the Voyager model from the show had numbered escape pods. Wait, that's just blown me away. So yeah, so much. Best XL they've ever done in terms of quality. And that's it for this model. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please consider liking and subscribing, especially for the Prodigy reaction videos. If you have any more questions about this model, just ask me in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. If you want me to review any specific model, I'll just ask. I'll get to it as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.